Hey, what's going on? Well, I'm back with another video. I know a lot of people are looking at 2022 and they're like, man, can we get a redo? No, you can't, technically. But I'm actually here to deliver a message of hope. Don't seem like it, but it is what it is. We've been through all this before. Not necessarily saying, the virus, etc., etc. No, but there's a lot of people right now, and it seems like it's doom and gloom. Um, we've been through that before. We've been through low vibes. We've been through very low vibrations. A lot of things that have gone on. But there is hope. Time to go into my rant. So just bear with me. I remember a time before cell phones. I remember a time before internet. You know, I know many of the people who subscribe do remember a time before internet, and if you don't, you remember dial-up when you got kicked off every 30 seconds when somebody called, or you had to go back on and you had to hear the annoying noises before it kicked up and Netscape Navigator and all that other good stuff. But technology wasn't as widespread as it is now, where you just can't get on and have high-speed internet at the touch of your palm. I remember when cell phones, all you could do was talk on a cell phone. You could not get on the internet, or when you did, or when you sent a text message, you had to hit the numbers however many times in order to get to that. Yeah, I'm showing my age, but then again, we act like this is ancient, but this really isn't that long ago. I really want y'all to think about this. A time in an era where families got together on whatever day you decided to get together, and you guys had dinner, and there wasn't cellular technology where you could jump on Facebook and look at somebody's Facebook status and say, okay, I know how they're doing now. Um, there were still people who seek the amount of attention that is seek today, and that still goes on. But the microwave era has kind of taken over. And I believe, once again, these are all my beliefs, take them with a grain of salt. I believe that these have changed us. They've done something different where we believe that, we listen to echo chambers. Basically, we go wherever we want on the internet and we hear what we want to hear, or we hear what we don't want to hear. We go to places that either fuel us for gratification, or we go to places that fuel us for fear. It doesn't seem like many people remember reading a newspaper, going back and reading a newspaper. Me, I used to read the funny section. Being a kid, the only day that cartoons really came on was Saturday. Remembering when they would play the national anthem at the end of TV. Well, not the end of TV, but at the end of the night when they just played that. Everything that goes on within those times. I still have family who talk about they didn't have indoor plumbing. You know, there were people who they can remember a time before indoor plumbing, and when they had to go to outhouses and different things like that, and digging a hole, moving the outhouse over top of it. There's a lot of things that have gone on. People have hunted, people who used to harvest rainwater, go out to the garden. These are memories that people still have, but it seems like we've lost it because everything's a microwave. Everything's instant gratification. Go to the store and grab everything instantly. But I'm here to tell you that we've done this before. When people put emphasis on what's going to go on, shit hitting the fan, or the end of the world as we know it, I believe it's the end of the world as we know it, not the end of the world. Um, you know, if you look at what we know in this current situation, we know instant gratification, we know cell phones, we know internet, we know a lot of stuff is going on. And if there was a reset, would we be able to function? Hell yeah, I believe we would. We've done it before, and for thousands or millions of years, or whatever you believe, however long you believe the human race has been around, it has happened. Things have happened that have reset time. Things have happened that have completely reset eras of humanity, from ice ages to everything else that has occurred. And us being who we are, we survive. We push through. We thrive. We find ways around things. We haven't yet found a way to be technologically sound and in tune with the earth just yet, because when it gets to the money situation and everything else, you're dealing with people who are working off of greed. Again, human nature. But I'm here to tell everybody, all those who subscribe, there's a better day ahead. Don't necessarily look for the doom and gloom. Even if the things that we know now, you know, end, as far as, like I said, cellular technology, blackouts, anything like that, don't believe we don't know how to survive. Starting fires, cooking over fires, different things. This is all embedded and ingrained. There's some things people might need a refresher course on, but basic necessities for life are known. And well, I'm not going to say everybody knows it because there are some people who have no freaking idea. You know, there are people who have gotten so entrenched in this era that they have no idea what's going on with life. So I'm not going to say everybody gets it, but I'm going to say eventually these people will get it. At first, when things shut down, if things do shut down, I do believe there's going to be a shock. People are definitely going to be in shock because everything that comes with this microwave era, the instant gratification, social media, the things that go on, people won't have that. Where if you look at the experiences that individuals used to have, the experiences, they didn't have to set up things on social media to make them look real. The reality TV is not real. I mean, if you look at everything that's scripted and sold to us as real, it's to alter our mind in order to make us to believe that life functions in those ways. And it doesn't. So being able to sit back and address real situations and become a family again, or the things that are going to have to go on and have a cohesive bond with other people outside of your social media list or the people who you don't even know who you got saved on your friends list, that's going to change a lot. I know people who have lived next to their neighbors for 15, 20 years and haven't spoken a word except maybe a head nod, but they don't know anything about their neighbors. Where communities used to come together and have barbecues, sit downs, when you would take a friendly plate over to the neighbor, or if the individual didn't have food or you didn't have food, or remember that old thing, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Can I borrow a cup of flour? People could cook from scratch. That's something that's going to have to go back in effect eventually because we've gotten so far away that we no longer know how to take care of ourselves. So these are just thoughts that I have, and that in all honesty, you know, I believe if something does happen after the initial shock, it'll be better times. I believe that people will know how to survive. People will figure everything out. People will become more human again and less machine. Um, and like I said, don't take that as a shot to anybody. I'm just saying that we become too reliant on technology and putting ourselves in our own echo chambers where we don't want to hear anything that we don't want to hear. And it doesn't matter regardless of what situation you're going through, you can always find something that caters to your liking or your viewpoint where you never have to leave it, and then you start to believe that you begin to believe that it's your reality, even though you've ignored everything out and you've only paid attention to 1 degree out of the 360 there are. So easier times have made for weaker people, and you can disagree. You know, you are more than welcome to disagree, but I believe with the advancements in technology, we've noticed that rates have risen in people just being lazy. People don't get out as much. People don't talk as much. I remember going to a payphone or calling, and the phone bill would be horribly high, or you can only talk to a family member out of state for maybe 10 or 15 minutes because the cost of it. Now, I'm not knocking all technology, but I'm just saying I remember when people had to be people, family had to be family, and there wasn't all this, talking shit over the internet where somebody couldn't talk stuff to you from another country or states away and be, banging on you behind the keyboard. They actually had to come up face to face, and if you had a problem or y'all decided you shot the fade, after y'all shot the fade, y'all went ahead, you shook hands, and either you were friends after, or you just kept fighting till you got your get back, or they got their get back. These are real times. So not everything was recorded, not everything was put on the internet, not everyone was put on blast or anything like that, because it really seems like we've become an era where people would rather record somebody dying than sit their phone down and save their life. Or 150 people will have the same video of a man, being selfless and going out of his way to save someone or save a child. The problem is one man went to do it, but 50 other people were holding up their cell phones. Does anybody notice a problem with that? So that's why I say some people have lost humanity, where they'd rather record something so they can get views and likes of a death-defying situation. Or say, for instance, that person does pass away. Most high forbid something does happen to the individual while everybody's recording, but they put it on there, and they're not worried about the story getting out. They're worried about them getting likes, clicks, views, and subscriptions based off of something that hurt someone. And it's not always the gratification when it comes to, say, for instance, let's look at a situation where you do something really good for somebody. You know, you go out, you feed the homeless, you feed the hungry, you do something. Then you have to ask the question, are people really doing it in order to be cool on social media? Or are they doing it because it's in their heart? So that is what I'm saying. People will become more human. They'll become more real because there's nobody in social media world to impress. People are just going to be themselves. If they're an asshole, they're going to be an asshole. If they're a good person, they're going to be a good person. They're going to do out of the kindness of their heart, not for the gratification they get from the world. So humanity will be restored if something does happen. And you know, I'm not wishing this on nobody. Once again, this video kind of went over, but those who relate to it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I apologize for taking up so much of your time, but I just want, my belief is, and you tell me, do you think humanity will return whenever technology leaves? Or a slowdown in technology? Maybe something sets us back 30, 40 years. Because it's not like it's that far, you know? Um, so that's just a thought. And just had to throw that out there and just kind of air that out. But, you know, 2022 is here. It started. It's going to keep going. Nobody knows what to prepare for. Just keep it going. Prepare for whatever you can. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And just remember, there's hope. Nothing is hopeless. Because if there's a will, there's a way. You know, and the best thing you can give a human is hope. Just give somebody a helping hand. The only time you should ever look down on a person is when you're picking them up. And that's the only time. So think about that. This A New Breed signing out. And, you know, peace.